I'll never be.
Yeah? Oh, that's good, because we're live.
Oh, no.
Hi, everyone.
No, more for them.
Thanks for the warning,
us.
Chuck.
You're welcome.
Quick, put your pants on.
No.
Oh, shit.
I'm
Camera's
glad
not
that so
low enough
many
for
of us
that.
said no.
Well, I guess we're back.
true.
It's Saturday. This is Goodman's stream, so I guess we're doing Weird Frontiers. Yeah, I guess. Or it's a bunch of old guys talk about how tired they are today. You know, that's a good stream
100%.
too. Yeah.
I'm not tired.
You know what fixes that? Coffee fixes that. All right, so let's do this thing. Chuck, you got any pre-roll today?
No.
No. Well, once again, our lawyers want to tell you all that are watching, listening, in the sound of our voices, you may laugh, you may have a good time, you may enjoy what you watch, but you will question what you have done with your life afterwards. You will. It's inevitable. But tonight, the gang is all here, so let's play some Weird Frontiers. Chuck, tell us who you are playing tonight.
I am playing Pierce McIntyre, occultist, servant of old, chubby, and father of Scab.
Adopted father, as
Yes.
far as we know.
I mean, there certainly aren't DNA tests to prove it one way or the other. Not
true.
yet.
Yeah. So, Jeremy, tell us all about Scab.
Hi, I'm Scab. I'm 12 years old. I guess I'm what you'd call a Tommyknocker. All I know is I used to work in a mine and there was a cave in and I felt funny for a long time. I used to also be a serial orphan because all my parents and foster parents kept dying. But Mr. McIntyre's tip hold of me for a long time that he's the best man ever and I'm going to do everything to keep him safe.
Yeah, even with the brandings, he's the best father ever.
He burns me to keep me safe.
Well, okay. Well, you can't argue that.
No.
Jake, tell us all about the foreigner that you're playing.
I will be playing Killian Fauché, who is a French photographer turned spiritual medium, a calavera, as they say. And he has been roaming the countryside with this fantastic band of individuals, trying to keep his sanity while dealing with the dead who sprout both in their wake and also those they stumble into.
It's been keeping you busy, that's for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
Daniel, tell us
Where
all about
everybody?
the perfectly normal, probably no fish DNA in your ancestry, but we're not going to, wipe it out. It's possible.
I'm playing Chance, the totally normal human Chance, who's totally great at shooting the bad guys and not his friends. Our gunslinger.
No, we got somebody else that's really good at harming their friends. We'll get to him in a bit. Eddie, tell us all about the masked hero you're playing.
Yes, I am Ivan. Surely you've heard of me and my fame. I am a wrestler, a hero, a lover, teacher of younglings to be wrestlers like me, filler of pants, some say. I'm not sure what that means, but I roll with it.
I think the audience failed their fame check. They don't know who you are.
Why does this always happen to me?
Joe, tell us all about the Party Slayer.
Yeah, I'm playing the Jebediah
Party
Bejebums.
Slayer.
I have a deck of cards. It's pretty dangerous to be around if I start drawing from it, so I usually run in ahead.
That thing is I think I have still done more damage to the party than you have.
It's close.
It's close.
I mean, I feel like it's unfair competition because I'm only shooting one person at a time.
Yeah, see, that's just it.
Yeah, I do some AoE party damage.
Joe's all about
thrown-
quantity.
Yeah.
All right, so you guys have arrived in this town of very odd confluences of power and powers. Set all of you that have any mysticness about yourselves on edge the whole time you've been here. Of course, the first thing you do when you get in town, well, you find a bar, and Jebediah starts playing. Jebediah, by the way, here are the folks you were playing against. I don't know. Wait, I think I have to show this to you, don't I? Here we go. Show to players. Here you go. Boom. Those are the three men you were playing cards against.
All
Did not
right.
take your final bit when you wanted to go all in with a $10 bill. They said,
Yeah.
no, sir, you've got more to do with your life. We're not going to be taking that $10 from you. And then McIntyre, being the perv that he is, stuck his head in the women's dressing room.
I did.
Unknowingly, almost causing
Not
a very
meaning
bad
to,
scene.
but I did. Yeah.
Yeah. But everything was smoothed over as the barkeep offered a free shot to you there, McIntyre, which was tasty and burning going down.
Just like I like it.
Chance, recognizing that, I've walked into a bar. There's booze here. Also,
100%. I mean, like, just autopilot, I think.
took the high dollar shot that bartender had to warn you that this was done on a dare and the repercussions were all on you. And you were just fine with that. So we will take back up here. It's the same day, getting on towards evening. You arrived late in town. You've only been here, maybe 2 hours at this point. Nighttime is, sundown, about an hour away. Full night is, that's stretching before you here. You have found out that there was one hotel in the place. You were advised it's not the best place to stay, that you might be better off just sleeping under the stars. But there you go. On the map, I believe you're showing it to everybody there, Chuck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The green dot is you. You guys are right here at the saloon right now. Still there, by the way, if there was anything else you wanted to do, but had some whiskey, played a few rounds of cards. Were you all done, Jebediah, at the table? You've won some, you lost some. Balance of things is you've won a few bucks. Feeling pretty good.
Oh, we still like we're trying to get information out of everyone on what their weaknesses are, and I don't feel like I've got that from them. I think I would want to play another game with them, but I'd see if they're if they ante with anything other than cash.
Well, I mean, cash, money, coin, however you want to put it, son. It's not really what it is now, is it? It's a measure of a man's time, man's commitment. You're already playing with something more than coin. He just kind of smiles at you.
I suppose that's true. I figure I'll go another round with him.
Okay, I mean, you play. Go ahead and give me a gambling roll on this one, but you can just engage him in conversation too. Dancing girls hit the stage. Looks like they're just rehearsing. It's still a little early for any kind of real stage show. They have narrow eyes at you, McIntyre, as they come on stage. They all blow little kisses at Scabbers as they come on. And again, they're just practicing. Scabbers is still playing the piano as they come out, and one of them leans down close to your ear there, Scabbard, and says, "Play us a jaunty tune there."
Okay, man.
Yeah, there you go. How's that roll looking, Joe? Again,
we'll do just a D20.
Okay, so this is a versus basically against the table here.
I'm going to throw some luck on that.
Okay, well, let's see if you need to first. Don't really need to. I mean, you win it handily enough.
Okay.
Yeah. But while you're playing, you already figured out that they have no tells. Psychology doesn't work against these folks. They just have no particular way to see whether they're bluffing or if they're straight up or not. They're very good card players. The banter between them is very familiar. They've been playing with each other for a very long time.
Seemed like all the information they were giving me too was very like cryptic and not super helpful.
So what do you want to ask them? I mean, they're not just throwing out information. I mean, you gotta dig a little. So what are you asking?
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to see, like, the main things I'm going for are if they feel affiliated with anyone else that's going to be popping up here, or if they're in it for themselves, if they know what they're looking for, that type of
Well,
stuff.
we've been around for a long time. Things seem to be coming to a head here in this sleepy little town, and there's powers here for sure. Some will want to help you, some will want to hinder you. Us, well, we hope you succeed. Keep the loom spinning. Failure here, well, bad times will be coming from many people. But we're constrained as to how much we can help, how much we can tell you. I mean, we're rooting for you. Give you a big old attaboy and slap you on the back. Not a lot else we can do unless you know the right things to ask.
I want to know, do they want the same things that the people coming here want?
Well, as I said, there's some that don't want you to succeed. Rather, you just left town and let things happen as they're going to happen. There's some like us, but rather you do well and you succeed here. It's a time-old thing. It's a balanced scale. One side versus the other. Usually, it's the little people, the small people, who bear the worst from it all.
All right. Sounds like they might not be our enemy. The last thing I guess I'll ask, if they know any good tells, to see if someone might also be aligned our way.
Well, best you can do is ask. A lot of the powers really ain't allowed to lie to you. Now, they may misconstrue things and they may leave things out, but they're not really able to flat out lie to you. My suggestion, just ask. Put your cards on the table.
I want to straight up ask them then if they have any sort of those symbolic weaknesses that we've been encountering in our friends. Say, like, our friend the Hangman needs a special noose and all that.
Well, yeah, we can tell you a little bit about that. You're continuing to play and you're winning a little bit. You're feeling a little like energized every time you win a hand a little bit.
That's not a good thing. It's gonna keep me playing too long.
Well, I can answer you the best we can. You got to understand there are rules to this. There's only so much we're able to interfere. So if in my answers a bit cryptic to you, you're just going to have to think a spell, rub that noggin of yours. There's rules to these things. We can't interfere.
All right.
So let's just go through. So you know that there's 7 riders. They're going to be coming to town tomorrow night, supposedly at the stroke of midnight. And so he tells you that, well, one of them you already know. He's like, well, and this is as you're mentioning each figure you remember from the dream, right? So
right.
He tells you sometimes you got to hang a man twice for good measure, which is a hint you already knew from somewhere else. I got to figure out which ones that would come up. So give me just a second.
I wish I took better notes, Kev, because I think we figured out couple of these already, because the trio of gamblers, you're encountering them now.
Mhm.
Uh,
So,
the scalp. I
probably-
think we,
And I wasn't. I guess I wasn't. Didn't have it clear. Was the trio of gamblers 1 of 7 or
No.
3 of 7?
No, they're not part of the 7 at all.
there
Oh,
are
okay.
basically.
Yeah.
Okay. Never mind.
He says, well, as you've probably gathered, the blows that you're going to be facing have already met death at least once. Now, I don't have any truck with them that have come back like that, but we all got your fate. No man can escape the grave for long. And he looks at you. He's emphasizing what he's saying here to see if you are getting him. And you probably are just looking at him, just staring at him. He's like, as I said, there are rules to these things. There's only so much we powers can do to interfere with what's going on. It's you mortals that can tilt the balance one way or the other.
I see. Guess we'll need to be talking to some other people.
Town's right packed right now, like a great old grand convention. As I said, some will help, some will hinder, but we got rules to follow.
Hmm.
And
Is
you
Ivan
win the
standing
last
anywhere
hand.
within earshot of
Sure.
all this?
You're probably watching what's going on. So you win the last hand there, Jebediah, and he pulls the top card off the deck and he flips it over his fingers a few times. It's an ace of spades. He says, I like you. And he kind of smiles. You're just my kind of double. Hands you the card.
I'll take it.
When you take it, it's kind of like a electrical tingling through your finger. You know that there's something special about the card, but you don't know what. Now, a couple of things are going to happen here. Jebediah, on the balance of things, you have won more than you've lost. First thing I want you to do is to lose 1 permanent luck.
Lose 1 permanent luck. Okay,
So whatever
like
your
for my
base luck
max.
score is, drop it.
Okay.
Okay. Now remember, there's no max luck in this game. It's just you've got your base, and the only thing you really use that for is for your lucky sign at the beginning. But there may be other things that will play off that. So your base goes down by 1. However, roll 3d4 for me.
Okay.
Good point. All right. This is 9 points of luck.
Ooh.
Okay.
All right.
Ivan, you've been kind of watching over his shoulder as he's playing, and you could swear that you've been traveling with Jebediah now for several months. He looks younger than he did before. A few less lines around the eyes. The back of his hands aren't quite so spotted and leathery.
I'll walk up to him and pat him aggressively on the back as a greeting and kind of laugh. Oh, my friend, you look like you're ready for a good fight. I haven't seen you this energized in quite a while. We need someone to punch.
I'm feeling pretty good. Haven't had a game this good in a while.
You are feeling good. You only won a few dollars, but you are feeling real good about it.
Yeah.
Dancing girls are taking the stage. They kind of got their number down. They run through the practice. You amazed at how well Scab is playing that piano. Scab, you even find that you can improvise within the tune a little bit, and it's spot on. It kind of goes with it. Your hands kind of move to the right place, and it's not that you're feeling compelled to play a certain way. Like you're able to make a little tune within a tune there, but it just seems to fit. No missed notes, nothing cacophonic coming out of it. It sounds great.
Hey, Dad, I think I found my special purpose, and that girl talked to me too.
This is just a fantastic day for you. You are doing amazing. And I think she's a little smitten with you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Straighten his like really crappy bow tie.
Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, I think Chance is probably still drinking at the bar.
100%. Like
Yeah.
risky shots won't
Oh,
stop Chance.
So are you just drinking regular, or are you drinking anything off his special list still?
I mean, you gotta start at the top of the special list and get to the bottom of it, I assume.
Okay. Well, you started with the most expensive shot, which is the Taos Lightning. So we're going to go up to Chain Lightning next. Just make me a fortitude save.
Oh boy.
This is actually the one that Pierce had. He probably said, yeah.
Oh, look at that. Look at
it's got
that.
a little-
It's a crit
Holy
success.
cow.
That's amazing.
Chance can handle his liquor.
Yeah, you like this one.
True.
Got the taste of a little bit of burnt sugar on the lips and prune juice. Goes down smooth. You get burns at the same time. Good stuff.
Prune juice, a warrior's
Now,
drink.
since you are drinking several as you go down, the DC is going to get a little harder as you get a little drunker. So the next one is Coffin Varnish. Puts that one down to you. There's a distinct smell of turpentine in it.
Very literal in that. Yeah.
Classy.
This is a DC of 15 on this one.
Oh no.
You got it.
Can do it.
Oh, I don't. I don't
Okay.
have it.
Yeah, if you're going to stay with that, Chance slugs it back, and it definitely tastes a little bit like straight turpentine. You turn around to smile at the bar, and you just pass out. Chance hits the ground. Good thing it's sawdust for the most part. Bartender looks over, looks right at Pierce, and says, "I think he's done." He scoops over the quarters Chance has been paying for the shots.
I feel like Chance did pretty good for Chance.
Yeah.
2 successes in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I'll help Chance find his way to a chair.
Killian, you've been trying to look around in the spirit world, and you have this disquieting. Pardon for a second. Across the veil looks pretty much exactly what you see. The place distinctly is itself. There's very little change that you can see from one side of the veil to the other, which you've not really experienced that before.
Yeah, that's weird.
No ghosts hanging around, no particular emotional impression to the bar that you don't get in just the mortal realm itself. It's a dingy little place, not well frequented. It's kind of neutral in atmosphere, neither good nor bad. Ivan's looking around behind Jebediah's back there. McIntyre, after being chastised by the dancers, is probably sitting meekly down with his own shot of prune juice and burnt sugar tasting drink. Scab's playing away. So you guys have been here for a little bit. Looks like the game's over with Jebediah as he steps away from the table holding a fancy card in his hand.
I want to see with that card, what happens if I try to mix it into my deck?
It looks very different than the rest of the cards in your deck. Nothing really happens.
Okay.
Mhm.
I'll pocket it again then. Or I'll keep it up like a sleeve.
Yeah. Oh, you're gonna sleep? Okay.
I will walk over to the table where the 3 individuals were playing with Joe.
They're still there. Yeah, now they're playing
They're still there?
Old Maid or like Go Fish. They've gotten off of poker. They're still playing cards though.
I will sit down across from them, and I'll look at the largest one there. Whoever is the largest, biggest guy there. Looks like it might be the. Okay, yeah. I look at him, and I kind of smile a little bit, and wait to see if he smiles back. And if he smiles back, I'm going to put my arm out like this and challenge him to an arm wrestle.
Challenge him to an arm wrestling match. Okay. Well, he cuts the cards, puts them aside. He kind of taps the deck, pushes the cards over to you.
Oh.
Go on. Cut the deck.
Okay. And I pick up the entire deck and try and tear it in half, but I can't. I'm like, I'm looking just very confused at him because I have no idea what cut the deck means.
I'll like
Maybe
mime over in the corner what to
maybe
do.
a strength check. No, you pick up the deck and you try to tear him in half. Maybe a strength check.
Oh God! I
about
really
to
hope you pull
everything.
this off.
You can do it.
Does his lucha die get to add to that since it adds to feats of?
I think absolutely this is a feat of strength instead of like a combat. So yeah.
Huh?
Okay, so
Seven
then so I'll have to roll my lucha die separately. So
Yeah,
this is going to
that's
be
You could probably just roll an attack too if you want.
yeah. That's true. I'll just roll it as an attack because it would be the same thing. So it'd be a 17.
17.
Ooh, my
Okay,
lucha
looking
die.
for 15. You tear the deck, and it is a disconcerting feeling as you rip your way through it and you tear it in half. You feel like just something inside of you feels like you got like this strong cord that runs through your body, and like it's just like the tension's been released on it, like someone has cut or snapped a string. And you all go just a little jiggly for a moment. And you lay the cards down as Jebediah is trying to tell you what cut the cards mean. The old man,
Yeah, I look over at the Jebediah and I'm like, did I do this right?
No.
old man stops for a minute. Think you might have done something wrong. And then he throws his head back. There's huge belly laughs as he slaps his hands down on the table. Says, I like you. It's been a while since I've seen a man that takes his own fate into his hands like that. You were a man that makes his own destiny. I can appreciate that. And he sticks his arm up on the table.
Finally, something I understand. I put my hand up there and I'm just smiling ear to ear as soon as he puts his hand up. I'm like, yes, finally.
Okay. This is going to be a contested strength roll.
Okay.
When you grip his hands, you feel like there's a transfer of something, a little electrical arc from deep inside of you into that hand grip, and it kind of stays there. McIntyre, and actually, I'm probably Killian as well. Where their hands join, you kind of see just some power growing there.
This will be interesting.
As I'm kind of grinning at him, I'm kind of saying to him, I knew you were a strong one.
All right, go ahead. We're going to do a contested
Strength
roll.
check. 15.
Not bad.
It's a strength check, non-combat.
Okay. It's hard fought, but you just bear down. You slowly push that arm down on the table. He breaks out in a sweat. The kid and the middle-aged man are both staring, watching that arm go back and forth until you finally, the back knuckles of Pappy's hands wrap on the table. And just for good measure, you push it down a second time to do a knock-knock kind of effect. And, well, let's see. How do I want to do this? Roll a d20 for me, Ivan. Ooh.
Not bad.
How old is Ivan?
Ivan? I'd probably say late 20s, early 30s. He's not that old. He's just more beat up from physical labor and such.
He's still kind of a young, unproven luchador, right? You know.
Yeah, like he's old enough to have had some matches, but not old enough to have the legacy of his master or anybody else.
All right. Who's standing nearby? Or who's watching the match? Everybody?
I mean, I definitely, yeah.
How do you define standing?
Chances
That
out.
one blurry eye that opens up from the floor as you look over.
Yeah.
I changed
We'll come
up
back for
the
another
tune I was playing.
soon.
Okay.
Hearts on fire.
Ivan seems to lose like a decade in front of you.
Oh, wow.
He's much a younger man than the Ivan that you met.
Oh God, I'm like 20.
Yeah.
I have peach fuzz instead of a full mustache now.
I'm going to throw a monkey wrench into this just because I want to I want to know for my own morbid curiosity, what happens to his hand?
Oh,
Your hands match.
Oh no, you lost the
Yeah.
magic hand.
Yeah, your hands match. You are as strong and as vital as you were when you were 20 instead of 30. Here's the thing, though. Since you kind of progress in your training as you get older, you've lost a decade worth of that hard training.
oh God.
I guess the important question is, how are his pants?
Yeah.
A little loose.
I don't want to be,
Little looser.
too penalizing on this. I got to think here how I want to do this.
At one point in time, they were around.
My gut says I want you to lose a level.
Oh wow.
That would be
wow.
that would be the experience and skill, that's for sure.
Yeah, but in return, since you've got that youthful exuberance come back, I'd give you, roll me a d4. Two. Okay. I think I'm going to do this.
You can do it.
This was a brash thing, and you kind of won, kind of lost at the same time. You're going to lose a level, I'm afraid. But
Okay.
you get 3 attribute points that you can put wherever you want to on your physical attributes. So you gain 3 attribute points, but you lose a level. Now you only lose. Well, I'm leveling it between sessions, but I would say if we were playing a normal game, I'd say you'd lose half the experience to the level, so it wouldn't be quite so much to get back to where we are. But so for right now, just de-level yourself 1, and then we'll handle this in a little bit.
Okay.
All right.
Do you want me to roll for my HP as well to see what I deduct from that, since I would normally get that on
you
the
didn't
level?
happen to record what you took when you took the level, did you? Prior.
I don't remember No, I didn't record exactly what I went up.
Let's not worry about that right now, since this is more of a storytelling thing. Just drop yourself the level as far as your luchador level. Let's not worry about the hit points and everything else just yet.
Maybe when you get
Gotcha.
back to your HP, you just are back to level. You just don't roll it again.
Yeah, that makes
Gotcha.
sense. Just don't roll it again. Keep it to where it is. Let's do that.
Gotcha.
Well,
Okay. Makes
because
sense.
I would say if we were playing a campaign game where I'm doing leveling as we go instead of between adventures, I would only make you lose half a level. So like you're down to the prior level, but halfway to the next one. So let's keep your hit points and everything, but you're going to be rolling on charts as if you were the level lower.
Gotcha. Yeah, I've dropped my damage die and set it to the correct level and everything in there. So everything else is basically dropped down.
To put wherever you'd like.
That is not bad.
Right. So after having had this match and kind of letting go of Pappy's hand, Ivan's obviously looking at his 2 hands and seeing that they're not only are they younger, but they also match. And I feel stronger.
You do.
I feel different because obviously I've lost all that experience and everything, but I feel sort of a youthful strength and exuberance. And
you lost 10 years of having taken falls and taken beatings and having broken bones and all of that. You've lost 10 years of all that wear and tear.
And Ivan's not a smart man, but he knows his own body better than anything. And so he's looking around at them and looking at himself, and he knows something has been done. And this man was smiling. He arm wrestled him. He laughed. Like I think this is a good man. And so Ivan's going to look straight across from him. He's going to sit back in his chair after bolting up and kind of looking at himself. He'll sit back in his chair. He's going to smile at the man, nod his head down. He's going to reach across and say, "Sir, that is the best arm wrestling match I have had in my life. Thank you. It was an honor."
He kind of massages the bicep on that arm and said, powerful man, Ivan. There's a lot of good you can do. There's a lot of evil you can do. You make sure that you pick your path well. He just kind of nods at you.
"I will, sir. I will. I want to do good."
Well,
Yeah, if I play anymore.
And then there's what it actually does. And he looks kind of catches Pierce's eyes when he says that.
If I play anymore, I'm going to start to look like my wanted posters. I better stop.
Yeah, Ivan will get up. He'll walk away from the table, kind of stretch a little bit and
Yep.
kind of test out those newly refreshed muscles, and a couple jumping jacks, kind of stretch a little bit.
Yeah. There you go. Much younger man. Folks start coming in now, get some food before the night's entertaining and drinking. So you are no longer like the only customers that the bartender is having to deal with. Kind of motions at you guys to pick up chants from the ground and kind of motion to get him out of here.
You know what would be good? And especially knowing this information that the Jebediah picked up. I'll help Chance up. Why don't we go get some coffee?
And some more booze.
No, you're good for now.
So right next to you.
Yeah, I think we need to pay that man a visit.
7 is the Hotel Mead. The hotel you were kind of warned that you might be better off sleeping out beneath the stars, but we got a hotel of sorts. That's what's next to you on one side. On the other side, we have, get to it here. Come on. Yeah. It's the Undertakers. There's some coffins, empty coffins stacked up outside, half done. The lids in the making. There's a young boy outside. These sawing away at a form, making new lids.
Make it a nice bed for us.
Immediately close to you there.
I want to ask Pierce. I'm going to pull a card out from my sleeve and show it to him. Can you tell if this does anything? I know you do some identification of magic stuffs.
Yeah. I guess first off, does my Sixth Sense kick off from that card?
Yeah. The card is definitely magical in nature. It has an aura about it.
It definitely has something to it. It's definitely charged.
Are you able to tell specifically how or what it does?
Is there any kind of test I can do for that kind of information?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to grab the card yourself for a little bit and kind of just do some playing around with it, I'll let you make a roll.
Okay.
Honestly, there's no way in the module for you to really know what it does. Unless you know what it does, it isn't much use in my estimation. So go ahead and give me a roll. Treat this as a full D20 since it is kind of an occulty sort of thing.
Natural 20.
Wow. There you go. Natural 20. All right. So game-wise, effectively, you can cash the card in for an automatic critical success.
Okay.
Mm.
Relay that to you in game terms, and there you go.
All right. Take that back. I think that's appropriate to keep it in my sleeve.
Yeah. So if it's getting late and camping out is better than the hotel,
Sundown's coming.
Yeah.
Within an hour before it's dark, as the sun's starting to fade away in the sky there.
Sure.
Now, if you look at the map, there are some outliers. Like 2 is a camp itself out here.
Okay.
And as you're getting out of the bar, you notice that somebody is setting up a wagon over here where it says 1.
Okay.
And then 17's kind of all on its lonesome out here too. But there are definitely places set up where people just right on the outskirts of town, just set up a camp.
Sure. I don't know about all of you, but I think speaking to our friend J. Carey Esquire is worthwhile.
I think so.
And then as far as sleeping, if there's that camp outside of town, maybe we'll just go set up there.
Wherever you want, sir. I don't need to sleep. I'll stay in wherever you are and I'll keep watch.
I appreciate that. Any sign of Esquire?
He's still where you left him. The wagon right there on the side of the road, main road in town. He's still there. Anyone walking by, he's hawking his wares. There aren't many people in the streets, though.
All right. Let's go talk to him.
You head back. So as you're getting closer to him, you also notice that the person that's setting up here, where one is,
Yeah.
it's another wagon, much like Esquire's, except this seems to be a tinker. He's put out a small portable anvil. He seems to be working on some old pots and pans. Occasionally, when people are coming by, he'll say, "Excuse me, ma'am. Do you need some knives sharpened? Can I do you need a hose sharpened? Can I fix any of your cutlery? No, ma'am, no. Okay."
I'd like to get an axe sharpened. A couple of them.
Oh shit.
So you're still across from him there. You're not really close, unless you want to walk over there, Scabbers.
Well, seeing the tinker definitely kicks off a remembrance from that dream. There's the tinker's cart and the Montebank's wagon. Yeah, let's go talk to the tinker. Maybe this is like the two sides of a coin kind of thing.
Yeah, let's talk to the guy. I assume I'm just still being
Yeah, you're
thrown
still
around.
a little woozy. You're still definitely drunk, but you're conscious now. We'll say you're minus 1D for the next couple hours anyway.
That's basically no difference to chance.
He's got a big sign on the side of his covered wagon. He's the Tinker Jeremiah Wiggins. He has, again, as I said, he's set up a very small portable forge and anvil here, and he's putzing around on some pots and pans he's working on as you come by, kind of waves at you. All of you guys make me a luck check. Yeah, several of you made it. You can't help but notice that he has set his little wagon up so that he has got a perfect sight line down the street to the bar that you just extricated yourself from. And even though he's kind of waving at you, you can tell his sight line is like right over at that bar. Like he's just paying a lot of attention to the front doors there. He's smiling and all, nodding at you as you're coming up. What can I do for you?
My boy here needs his axe sharpened to begin with.
Yeah, and do you have any cool stuff?
Pots and pans for the most part.
You need a drink?
He pulls out like a hip flask. It's like, I'm covered.
So, while you're working on the axe, are you here to help or hinder?
Well, that all depends. Like, he doesn't bat an eye when you say that. It all depends. What powers you serve and what you hope to accomplish. Here you go. That'll be a bit. He hands you back your very sharp axe now.
I'll pay him.
Oh, that's great.
He pulls a red hair off his chin and he shows you that he can just slide it on. It splits over the head of your axe.
That's so cool. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna buy one of your pans for around the campfire. You got anything that's you get one? I saw one time somebody made one of these things that looked almost like an egg that you put into the fire.
He thinks about it for a minute and he rustles through some of his pots and pans. He kind of pulls out one of the things you're talking about.
Are you talking about a Dutch oven?
Maybe.
Can't go wrong with a good Dutch oven. So,
I'll give you a whole extra $1 for that.
Well, thank you. He
All
puts it in like a little tin cup nearby. That's got a little bit of change in it.
I suppose that our intention is to stop whatever evil is spinning up here. Stop the man with the squiggly beard. And where do you land on that?
Well, I'd really rather keep the power away from the finger thief. And that's what you're asking. Heck, if I had my rathers, I wish that people just leave matters be. Don't go digging where they need not be.
I for one, like my fingers where they're at.
Do you know a lot about this finger
Not
thief?
useful contributions here.
Well, I know that he's got nothing but ill intent over the powers that can be unearthed here. GM is desperately trying to get an Irish accent and failing.
It's coming off Canadian, but it's fine. He's a Canadian tinkerer.
Canadian Irish, I
Yeah.
guess.
Does he have
Oh,
one
wait.
arm?
Oh, is he
No.
mad?
Call him old Matty.
Old Matty two
Sorry.
arm.
Maybe he fixes guns.
You can ask him.
Did a bit of gunsmithing. Let me see. And then when you show him the gun, he just like, oh, I'm sorry. It seems that your guns have, well, they got a mind of their own.
That they do.
Don't think they'll like me going around trying to repair it. No. Well, assuming you've got the best interest at heart, and he looks just deadpan stares at McIntyre,
Yeah.
which I'm not completely convinced of.
Well,
My dad's the best. He's a good man.
listen, my own intentions are dubious at times, and I will openly admit that. But in situations like these, I try to do what's best for my boy.
He's
Handle
less dubious
scabs.
than my aim is, so
I don't know what dubious means, but my dad's always helping. Is that like
it's like-
Dubois? Is that a name? We talk about a family.
I believe you, son. I believe you got a good heart in you. Well, if it'd still beat like normal, you would.
Somebody's.
Got a couple.
Got 3 or 4 in there.
So
one
he
of 'em.
looks at everybody. So tell me honestly, any of you horse slayers? Any of you
Horse?
kill a horse in your lives?
I can't say that
No,
I've ever killed a
I
horse.
like my horse.
I don't think I have.
I've killed
Who
some
would kill a
cows.
horse?
I'm not sure about that. There's this one time that there's a bunch of livestock and a big old explosion, and there might have been a horse nearby. Did I do wrong?
I don't think you had any particular harm in your heart. I'll let that one slide. Look, I was sent here to keep a mind over things and to, if I could prevent certain things from happening, I would. But if I couldn't, help out whoever would be most suited to keeping things as they are. And again, he's just like staring hard at McIntyre. I think the balance of you
Well,
have nothing but good in your heart. He hands his hammer and this like pincer that's got this white hot horseshoe in it over to you, Scab. Says, "Hey, you mind my foundry for a minute here?" He takes a shot of his hip flask and he just marches over to the bar.
Do you want some help?
He waves you off. I got this. It just leaves you alone. Across the street, Jay Carey is just smiling as he watches you guys. And if you take a look at him, he'll doff his hat. Still a big old smile on his face as he tries to sell his snake oil on the street side to a few folks that are heading to the bar. But it doesn't take long for Jeremiah to come out. And he's holding, looks like a horseshoe in his hand. And he takes back the hammer and the pliers from you, Scabber, and he hands you this horseshoe, but he doesn't let go of it when he hands it to you. He says, "Now this is strictly on loan. When you're done with this, I expect you to return it to the bar.
Okay.
It'll be useful to you."
All right.
And he points over to the side of the town where you guys were planning on spending the night, number 2 over there, the camp.
Mhm.
I don't recommend that you have any business with those folks over there. I understand that if you need to suss things out and speak to folks, you might be tempted to head in that direction. I just would recommend against it. But
Okay.
That's fair. I mean, you've got your tent and you're set up here. Would you mind if we set camp a little ways off from you here?
yeah, so he's in this little lot here, this single tree nearby. He just kind of nods his head and says, "You go right ahead."
So we've talked to the man with the 10-star, the 3 gamblers, now the tinker, and we talked to the Montebank before we knew why we were talking to the Montebank. What can you tell us about the man riding a buffalo?
All right, give me just a second.
Was the man riding the buffalo the one that got hung already?
Yeah.
Because I think we already know him.
I think so.
Have we seen the golden star yet either?
The golden
I-
star, no, but you have seen the star on the sheriff's chest. But that's all so far.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's two stars. So
So, Scab, you take the horseshoe.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
This
you
thing
take
sure
it.
is strong.
It is very strong. But as you take it, you are kind of overcome with that feeling you had during your dream as well. And you see a man with black clothing that kind of covers him from head to toe. It's all really dark, that the man looks more like a void in the shape of a person than an actual person. Overly thin, emaciated, painfully thin, like a starvation victim here. There's a skeletal face that you can just about make up out under the hood of this blackness that's around him. There's squinting eyes that kind of look out from beneath the hood. You see a medical bag on his horse. Yeah, you just get that impression when you hold on to the horseshoe.
Got cinnamon sticks if you want something to eat, mister.
And when you grab it and you're testing its strength, you also find you've got this like just a feeling come over your muscles, your tendons in your back and your arms just kind of stand out. Effectively, your strength is too higher for the time being.
Nice.
Scabs.
Oh, that's just enough to get me to the next range.
Nice.
nice.
Wow.
Well,
Oh,
how late is it getting?
Your sun is just now, the last rays of the sun are going down over the horizon. So it's dark, effectively.
Are we still talking to that tinker guy? Is
Yeah,
he still,
you're still there. Actually, I guess you're setting up camp next to him there.
I want to ask
Yeah.
him, like, so you mentioned this finger guy. We've been trying to find some more information about people we might run into here shortly. Do you know how he died?
Well, that one's an interesting case. He's kind of the leader of the posse. Whether he actually died or is in kind of a state in between is a matter of conjecture. He's been turned and twisted by the powers that he's been seeking.
You said you're not particularly fond of him.
No, sir. No one with a good heart would be. Again, he eyeballs man.
That's fair.
It sounds like a pretty mean fellow. Bet anything he's up to's no good. Don't suppose you've heard of any potential like weaknesses or anything that might twist him farther, get him all the way into the grave?
He points where you've stuck that ace up your sleeve. And he says, well, I think you've already gotten the perfect weapon against him. You're going to find that certain powers here in Bannock are, some aligned for you, some aligned against you. Some will lead you to relics of power that'll help. There are many here
All right.
Okay.
What about a lawman? Do you know anything about a sheriff?
Well, the sheriff in town, he's a good man. Could come in useful. Don't
You
know
think the
anything
sheriff likes
specific
the?
about him if that's what you're asking. I only know him by reputation, and he's got a good one.
Okay.
Yeah, we already spoke to him once.
Yeah.
Was it only Scab that was thrown off by?
Yeah,
I-
Scab just couldn't be
Yeah.
in his presence.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put another $5 in his cup there, and a couple cinnamon sticks. Mister, I don't know how to explain it, but there was a really tall man in black with a medical bag. He looked real hungry. If you could give these to him when he comes through town, that'd be appreciated.
He just kind of nods and says, well, I'm hoping you can send him on to his final reward, but giving him a cinnamon stick will help. I'd surely
Okay.
do it.
I don't understand what's going on half the time, but I sure do appreciate this. This is real cool.
Yeah. You again, the rest of you guys are just you're setting up camp around you.
I believe what you mean is that they're setting up camp around Chance because he's probably just been thrown on the ground and that's happening.
Yeah. You guys have like bedrolls and maybe simple single man tents, but mostly it's taking care of your horses, getting your horses fed and watered, that sort of thing, getting them in their,
You got this, horse.
It's a mild night. It doesn't look like there's going to be any storms or anything, so sleeping outside is doesn't seem to be a problem. The tinker here, though, unless you've got any other questions for him, he doesn't. He tells you he's here to watch over things.
Seems that's the common word from a lot of people.
What's your feel of that fella across the corner there, or across the street?
Well, I think he is sympathetic to your goals. He'll aid you the best he can. The power he serves, though, is, well, double dealing sometimes. But I think, and he just kind of goes silent for a little while, but I think he wants to help.
Can I insight that?
Yeah. Just make a personality check, or yeah, there you go. Yeah, it looks like he kind of, his eyes rolled back for a moment there, when you asked him about Esquire. Seems like he was in communion with something or someone. Doesn't seem like he's lying to you though.
Who's that you're talking to?
Oh well, my power couldn't be here for this meeting. She's otherwise indisposed, so I am her right-hand man in this to observe. We are limited in what we can do to help you.
I see. So it should be most. Is there anyone else that you're more worried about than the finger man?
Well, his whole posse is bad. If any one of them get their hand on the fist, it'll be bad. I just as soon as everyone forget that it's here, leave its caretaker alone and just let it fall off into obscurity. But doesn't seem like that's in the cards. If it's not the finger thief and his posse, sooner or later somebody else will come for it.
You say the fist?
Yeah. When he says that, you all have that flashback to your dream where you see the shooting star and this Indian shaman kind of observing it as it just shoots, it comes across this night sky and kind of hits the ground far off in the distance.
So, if we deal with today's problem, there'll be another problem tomorrow.
Really think it's best if you just deal with the fist itself, taking it away, breaking, destroying it if it's possible. I don't know. The caretaker won't like it either way. He's not against you, but that is his charge, is to protect the fist from everyone.
Caretaker?
Just kind of nods. I can't direct you. You'll have to find that out on your own. Only so much we can do to interfere in this.
Pair of Hulk hands.
Okay, but the important thing to know is that fisting is bad, and we got to stop it.
That is accurate.
Okay.
All right.
Is that in this town somewhere? Is it a item we could become in possession of?
Depends if you can convince or overpower its guardian. The fist is here in Bannock. It's been hidden since before there was a Bannock.
Well,
All right.
Not intentionally trying to be obscure. Just as I said, the powers have rules we have to follow. It's only you mortal men that can actually change things.
how long do we have to go until? What's our deadline still?
Not tonight. Tomorrow night, stroke
Tomorrow
of midnight, is when the seven are supposed to ride through town,
All
according to the Cyclops. You haven't confirmed it with anybody here yet, though.
Okay. Well, I say we all rest tonight, and in the morning, make our goal, talk to the Montebank, see if we can find the caretaker, see if we can find a way to destroy the fist.
What was it about the inn that you didn't like? Is there someone there that's not useful to us, or someone there that's dangerous to us?
Oh, the Hotel Mead? Oh, actually, he didn't say anything about the hotel. He told you about number 2 on the map.
Number 2?
Yeah.
The camp.
Oh.
Well, they're certainly following a power that doesn't want you to succeed. It's not that they will be overtly trying to hurt you. They're constrained much as I am.
You mean they'd keep me awake when I'm trying to sleep off my hangover?
He comes over to you. He's got like a pan in one hand, and he's got his hammer in the other one, and he's just a bam, 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 right near your ears. Wake up!
Just like that.
How much time do we have before like a normal bed hour?
Oh, it's just now getting dark. So I mean, you've got a good 4 to 6 hours. As you know, this is the time when working people go over to the bar for entertainment, socializing, drinking. So you've got a good 4 to 6 hours before people actually head home for the night.
Yeah, it's time for
Tonight's
Chance
just
to
started.
sober up again and get drunk again.
Absolutely.
Well, if we still got time, why don't we talk to the Montebank tonight?
Sure.
He's still
Or
up
people are gone from the camp by any chance that might give us a chance to poke around their camp, see what they know while they're not around to obstruct us.
That's
there.
a good
You
idea.
do see some folks with lanterns in their hands, heading out from the camp, going into the saloon. The few folks that are on the streets are heading to the saloon. It's the public house. It's where everybody goes to socialize. Not odd at all.
Well,
Say chat with our Montebank fan for
then
a
head
little
over to
bit.
the camp.
Yep.
He's just down the street a little bit. J. Carey Esquire again tips his hat at you all. I hope your conversations with the town folks have been elucidating. Are
Hallucinating?
you any closer to figuring out this mighty puzzle, this Sisyphean, that man that likes to roll a boulder up a hill, Sisyphean task, something like that? I'm not so good with my Greek.
I do think we did. And we've been told that you would be possibly willing to help us on our quest to stop the finger thief from obtaining the fist.
I would dearly love you folks to all succeed in what you wish to succeed in here. Yes, indeed, I would. But as you have probably been told more than once, there is a limit to how we powers can interfere in this.
I understand that.
Who can interfere with me in a helpful way?
That's exactly the point.
Now, you will find my black liquor, my special patented black milk, to be of a particular boon if you so get injured or feel yourself under dark controls, or you find yourself even being fatigued or just need a little pep to your step. My elixir will set you straight.
Is there anyone that's showing up that may not take well to your elixir?
Well, my elixir is good for all that ails you, for all the people that have the ails. Far and wide is my elixirs well known.
The ale for the ales.
That's right, because this was tied to the black goat, wasn't it? Yeah.
Absolutely.
I will gladly take some.
He'll give you another. Here you go.
Because I think we each got one, right? Or...
We have enough for each of us to have one, I believe.
I've got 2 now.
And now Pierce has 2.
I'll go and give you mine.
I can answer a direct question if you have one as best I can, but I can't lead you to anything. You understand? My hands are tied in this.
Right. And we're trying to figure out who we should be most worried of. It seems like not everyone.
Oh, you should most definitely be worried about the 7. Their leader as well. That should be your main worry.
Like if
everyone else here, we're spectators. We're just watching to see which way that pendulum swings.
So everyone here already is not someone to be worried about. There's going to be 7 new people that will show up.
Now, don't get me wrong. If you express bodily harm to any one of the powers, they are well within their rights to defend themselves. They won't offer you any particular malice.
So we've been to the sheriff's office. We've been to the bar. We've been here.
Well, there's a whole large town that you need to explore, my friend.
That's what I was going to ask. Are there any buildings that you think we should just not bother with?
Well, now that is a loaded question, because sometimes the best information can be found amongst the houses of your enemies.
That is
perfect. A smart man that wishes to avoid any kind of confrontation may take the easy path and not enter the camp of his enemies. But a smart man may find it useful. Which are you?
I am feeling uncharacteristically bright today.
I just need to know, does shooting them work?
The 7? Oh, certainly.
Yeah, them.
Not for good. No. It can help some.
How do I shoot them for good?
So we know to hang we know that each of the 7 have died at least once, and the way that they died seems to be cryptically tied to how to kill them again. And we only know of one so far, which is the man that was hung, and we know what we need to do to hang them again.
Wasn't there some fella they talked about with the scalping?
Yeah, you guys sussed that out last time too.
Is the sheriff one of the powers?
Oh, right. I remember the scalp.
Say it again.
Is the sheriff one of the powers?
No, the sheriff is well, I guess technically he's no longer mortal. But he is a man much like yourself, Mr. McIntyre. He is a searcher into the unknown, and perhaps he has learned a bit too much for one mortal frame to contain.
That does.
But he is a lawman true. He will do what he can to save as many lives as he can. And if that is your desire, sheriff will be a good man for that.
We need to talk to the sheriff again.
Do you know of the fates of any of the other 7 that are riding into town?
Well, now the fates aren't one of the 7. You got that wrong, my gambling friend.
Well,
are observers, much like myself.
Right. No, I'm asking, do you know of, because several of them have died.
The rest of the 7 die.
Yeah.
Oh, we should go talk to that kid over at the place with the coffins, because the person that makes coffins probably knows about how people died.
That's worthwhile.
Esquire puts his finger on his nose and points to you. He's like, points to you.
I had an idea, Dad.
That's fair.
My brain did
That's-
something.
Was a genius idea, my boy. You've really coming into your own between the piano playing and that genius idea. I would not have come with that. You are doing fantastic, my boy. Very proud of you.
And a girl talked to me too.
She did. She was very smitten with you.
I know.
So,
Well, I believe it was the sheriff who told us that Hotel Mead was not recommended as a place to stay the night. Would you have any information as to why that might be?
Hotel Mead? It's just a rat trap of a place. No genteel person would stay there. The sheets are infested with lice.
I've had them before. I don't like them.
easy enough answer.
Yeah, that is disgusting.
Now, across from the Hotel Mead, there's used to be a hostel called the Goodrich. It's a better place to stay if, and they're still letting rooms. I don't know for sure if they're still taking customers in, but it's a much nicer place to stay in.
We've got so many people to talk to.
I know. Part of me kind of almost, this is just me, it's thinking out loud here, wants to bring up the pages, but I don't know if I feel like that's out of context here.
That I don't know.
Do you? You're half drunk. Keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Just whips out the Necronomicon. What can you tell me about this?
There's half a book I've got here. I can't read it.
I think he does it.
Yeah.
You do it?
Yeah.
Okay, so Esquire just has this big old grin on his face, and he moves to like touch the pages, and he backs off a little bit. Says, "Yeah, there you go. You just you keep collecting those pages. My children need to be brought back together."
Children?
I have more of a connection to the pages than what I first thought. Is that what you're getting at,
You?
Esquire? I'm asking the Montebank that question.
Well, you seem to be having a cozy relationship to one of my sisters. That's for sure.
Your sister.
I ain't got a relationship with nobody.
Who are you?
Well, Chance, you do have strange relations with a lot of people, now that I think about it.
Some with gills.
None of them.
Does your sister have gills, sir?
All right, give me just a second before I respond to you there, Chuck. I want to
Sure.
get these names as right as I can. Second.
Getting into the loaded questions here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So while Bert's looking that up, we got to go check out the camp tonight. Got to talk to the kid. I think now talking to the hostel. I don't think
Yeah, we might just have to walk through town and just
I think
see
we're
who's
going
who.
to have to. And I also have an idea
Oh,
for Scab.
Okay.
After this is said and done, maybe we should talk to those fates to see if there's any chance of us being able to turn you back into a boy who has a heartbeat.
we're gonna Pinocchio you.
I mean, whatever you think is best, Dad.
Yeah, we could talk about it later. It's
Okay.
just an idea right now.
But what I've been doing is helping you, right?
Wildly helpful.
Okay.
And I appreciate it immensely. But I was also thinking that if you could get back to being a person with a heartbeat, then maybe you could grow up and find a girl who's smitten with you to settle down with someday.
Would that make you happy?
I could teach you the perfect game for you to play against them as well.
So Chuck, he takes his hat off and flips it very showman-like. He grabs like a cane, and he does like a little soft shoe when he responds to you. And he says, "I've gone by many names, always a civilized little devil have I been. my current incarnation, I call myself the showman. Past civilizations, early folk, much like yourself, natives, might have worshipped me as Tezcatlipoca. And then he looks very pointedly at you, Pierce,
Yeah.
and says, "My sister would know me as Nylar Lothotep."
Oh, shit sticks. Oh,
I'm not even going to have you roll since you have the connection to one of these beings as it is. Yeah. Yeah. This is an incarnation of old
well,
Nylar.
I do have to say, it's an honor to meet you.
He stops his soft shoe, bows, puts his hat back on.
When I was looking at who to commune with, you were in a wildly strong contender, but I just didn't think I had the personality.
Oh, your gambling friend is a much better worshiper to my particular bends than you are, sir. I think you made a good choice amongst my kindred.
Okay, I appreciate that.
Am I doing a bad?
We may all be doing a bad this very moment, but perhaps a greater good will come from it.
I would just like to throw out there while you guys are all conversing and talking. We're still nighttime rolling into night, or is this the next morning?
It is nighttime now, but it's just the beginning of night.
While you guys are all conversing and such, I'm like a little ways off in our kind of make do camp, literally doing like lunges and jumping jacks. Just background.
You're probably making Chance sick just watching you move.
Yeah, I'm doing calisthenics while in the background. I'm like thinking's for other people. I'm just here to exercise.
Wow. Okay.
So now that we've been properly introduced, sir, do you begin to understand the stakes of this situation you find yourself in? No doubt you have heard that there are powers and the representatives of powers here in this town. We are all very interested in how this plays out.
Yes.
I, for one, really like steaks.
I knew we were in a situation. I didn't know we were in the situation. Who does the Tinkerer represent?
Ah, well, he comes from further shores. The Emerald Isle, I believe. Rhiannon is his god.
Okay. Very well. We'll be off. Thank you for the direction. Maybe we'll send Jebediah back over to you later for a more in-depth conversation.
What's that?
He's an elder god. He might be able to help you.
Would I play cards better?
Oh, without a doubt.
Oh, most certainly, my good man. As he rolls like a silver coin over his knuckles, and they disappear occasionally, and they pop back up. Now there's 2, now there's 3, now there's 9.
That. Do real magic, Daddy, just like you.
His is far beyond anything I could hope to do. It's very impressive.
Might have to talk a little bit as I'm before I drift off tonight.
Ivan, it is great to be back in a younger body of yours. You're so much more flexible. Things hurt so much less.
Something
you
just
do with your ability
clearer
points
without all that injuries to your head.
How'd you distribute your points?
I dropped 2 into strength, bumping me up 1 tier, and I dropped 1 into personality since I can actually burn those, so it's useful.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Then some of that head trauma is gone.
Oh yeah.
Well, shall we all go sneak around to camp?
Okay.
I think
I don't know
so.
about sneaking, but around, perhaps.
Where are you headed to?
The camp.
Okay. So these are very crude shacks that have kind of been just thrown together in a crude circle. There's a big campfire in the center, several of them actually. There's lean-tos and there's and some tents. All of the inhabitants are still here cooking some beans and food over these campfires. They're very rough-looking men. They look like they've spent a life of hard work and labor. There's some low quality smell of tobacco on the air, some just very, very noxious stuff. Not great. Everybody kind of looks and stares at you as you kind of wander the camp. Nobody offering you like a hello, a hi, or anything, but also not looking overly concerned.
Mm.
Is there any particular house or is anything like particularly more distinguished than the rest?
It's all just temporarily thrown together. Nothing here looks permanent. Nothing is like any more outstanding than anything else. And it looks like everybody's outside, either around a cook fire or it's like more than half the camp has gone in to get liquored up or at least to go and socialize in town.
You know who's good at drawing attention? Ivan. I'm going to look and see if anybody's looking at Ivan.
I would say when we decided to head over, we'd definitely have gone and grabbed Ivan as well.
Yeah. But make sure to hand you some of your oil so you can be all properly prepped.
Thank you, Scab. You should never wake up and start the day without a good oiling.
I tried that, but it just kind of seeps into the stitches.
You're getting into the rings of fire now, getting a better look at the people here. It looks like more than half of the men that are still here are native American. Maybe you're getting a little closer to the border these days, so maybe even transplants from Mexico proper. It's hard to tell. They all kind of look at you. A few of them nod. As you get closer, one of them fills up a pot of beans. Looks who would have been at the front of this walking party that's going over here? So like, who's taking the lead in your group?
I mean, if we're
I'm
sending
for it.
Ivan in to be a distraction.
Ivan?
Sure.
Okay. Do you speak Spanish, Ivan?
Not a lick of it. Like, I've got a few words that I picked up growing up around the ring.
Okay.
I don't even know half of what it means.
So enough, though, that you know when someone's speaking Spanish. So as you get near the fire circle,
right,
there's a little bit of Spanish being parlayed around. As you get closer, ladles some beans, rips off a little bit of cornbread, throws it on a plate, just kind of shoves it at you, Ivan. Not really, not greeting you anything, just shoves a plate at you. It says, why don't you fill your belly, take you and your friends and just leave. Let the town burn and let things be as they should be.
Why do you want to see the town burn?
Anything that our ancient enemy wants, well, it would be best if we wanted the other.
I don't know what that means.
Of course not.
And he just starts like eating the beans.
Are we all within earshot of this?
Trying to contemplate.
I'm sure you are, unless somebody wanted to be sneaking around back or something.
I'm not.
I was thinking of with that bit of information. Like, well, you heard him, Scab. Let's go. So Scab and I can sneak off and activate stealth mode and go poke around.
Okay.
Enjoy your beans. It's nice seeing you. You're a nice lady.
Are you casting a spell there, Pierce?
Oh, I will definitely. Once we're out of the way, I'll move a safe distance away to do it. But yeah, I will be casting a spell.
All right. I am going to direct your attention to this little blurb that I just put on the screen here.
Okay.
All spells and spell-like effects have a random bonus or penalty due to the just the confluence of ley lines and the powers that are here. Magic is a little iffy. So roll a d4.
Okay, I can do that.
Tell me what you got since I've got this. You got a what?
I got a 2, so it's a -1
2.
die size.
So yeah, so you're gonna do when you cast a spell, you're gonna be -1d, and this is each time you try and cast something.
Yeah.
Very random. So go ahead, try to cast your spell.
Yeah, so it does say that any effects that could change. I'm not going to do it. We're going to do random. That sounds way more fun. Let me get my spell casting thing. All right, this is going to be a. What's the next size down? That's a D16.
What do you have, a D20? So yeah, D16 is the next step down.
And I might just burn luck after the fact.
Mhm.
Oh no! I rolled a 1.
Oh,
I
that's
rolled
bad.
a 1. I need to look up my misfire for my shadow.
I wanted to say to him too, as he mentioned like burning. I would want to ask him, like, have you ever heard of the phrase "herd of the other sheep" or "a sheep of the other herd"?
All right, what happens to you, Pierce?
I get a corruption.
Okay.
I don't.
Pull on the corruption table.
Yeah. Never had to roll corruption before.
I think you get a specialized corruption table for your patron. Now.
Okay. That's 601. Old Shubby.
There's a lot of tables in this, folks. Lots of tables.
I don't see a specific corruption table for Shub. Oh, there's Patron Taint. Oh, so I need to do Patron Taint. Is that what I'm doing?
Yeah.
All right, let me find that. Oh my gosh. All right, it's a D6. That's a 4.
Okay.
And the 4 for old Shub. Oh god. I have to perform a sacrifice before the next new moon. Good thing, first time any large animal will do. After that, it moves up to human and then worse.
Yeah.
Well, I'd avoid a horse.
What counts as worse?
Apparently, it's time to buy a cow.
That's gonna have to be it. Okay. Just gonna put that.
Oh my. Yep. Yeah, you just feel impressed that you need to make that sacrifice here for the next what is it, the next night?
It's the next new moon, before the next,
The next
new
new
moon.
moon.
So
Okay,
whatever
you've got a little bit. Yeah.
you decide
you've
for
got a
our
little bit.
lunar cycle.
Okay, so the rest of you that are not trying to sneak around, so the spell failed. You're not able to cast it, but you are still sneaking around. You're going outside the firelight, sticking to the shadows the best you can. So I'll get back to you guys in a second. So otherwise, Ivan, you're eating the plate of beans and cornbread, fried in some nice pig fat. It's okay.
Yeah. I'm just scooping it in and like contemplating on what the guy said because I don't really understand.
Jebediah,
I wanted to ask him.
Yeah, go ahead.
I wanted to ask him if he'd heard of the phrase "of a sheep of the other herd."
A sheep of the other herd. He kind of shakes his head. I've not heard that passage before.
Oh, it's if you don't like being controlled by something and you just do whatever the other one doesn't want, you're still being controlled by them.
Well, that may be true, but our god Quetzalcoatl, we have a long time hatred, and he kind of points into town. Gives the one that has called himself J. Carey these days. We know him as Tezcatlipoca. Mortal enemies to our god.
He's a shifty one, seems like.
Yes. So this town must burn, its inhabitants slain. If he wishes to save the town, we wish the town to burn.
Are you expecting any friends to aid in this to show up here soon?
He just smiles and says, tomorrow night, death will come to this town on 7 horses. 7 beings of power will take the fist and burn this town.
Any one of those horses a friend of yours?
Friend? No. Don't know them personally.
Guys, is it happening in that order?
He kind of looks over at you, Chance. It's like, what?
They're taking the fist and then they're burning the town. Is it happening in that order?
He kind of smiles and chuckles. It's like some of this, some of that. It doesn't really matter as long as the town burns. The fist is taken and the people die.
You suck.
Bleak.
It's not us that are going to do it. We're just here to watch, to observe.
Yeah, you still suck.
And you're what?
Neither
Heroes?
here nor there, but don't
Right, exactly.
die.
Neither here nor there. Let fate take its course.
And his name is Chance. He's not exactly one for fate.
Well, it seems like that name would perfectly meet him with fate. Leave it to the winds. Leave it
Are
to
you-
chance.
Am I not a part of the winds?
Well, you will be if you keep eating those beans, friend.
He gets it.
So as you're talking, and you seem to be a little resistant, you notice that more of people are kind of gathering at the fire. No one's overtly menacing, but they're kind of massing around you. Nobody's actively got any weapons out or anything. They're taking more interest to what's going on around you. But that might leave the perfect opening for Pierce and Scab. Going around back. So you're behind these ramshackle, huts and tents. You're out of firelight. What do you want to do back here?
What are we looking for, Dad? Well, you got a bloody nose. Let me get that for you.
So I was checking out the rules, Bert, and I want to see what you want to do on this. I didn't realize once I have a patron, when I roll that corruption, I have to roll it twice and take the higher.
Yeah.
Oh,
I did roll it a
so-
second time, and I did end up one step higher. Do you want me to stick with the original one that I got, or go with?
No,
the
I
new
think
one?
it's more suiting. Let's just keep it with a
cool.
non-human,
Actually,
offering. What's the next higher one?
The one that I ended up with is that I get the feeling that my body is merely a shell disguising something stranger, and I
I like that better.
I
I like that
permanently
better.
lose 1d3 personality.
Ooh.
I'm good with that. I am absolutely good with
yeah.
that.
That makes
Okay.
sense. You're feeling more and more alien in your own skin. Meanwhile, those talking in the camp, just real quick here, can you guys make me personality rolls? Nobody's being
Sure.
overtly menacing or anything. I mean, you're talking back a little bit, but I don't seem to mind that.
Is this like contested, or is there any
No,
particular thing we're going for?
I'm just seeing how you guys are coming across in general for those of you that have talked. All right,
I
so
think
let me-
Chance
I wanna-
is coming
I want
across.
to throw 2 luck at that.
So yeah, Chance. I mean, you're drunk. They're just seeing you as a buffoon, and they're just kind of not really responding much to you other than to laugh at you a bit.
That's absolutely fair.
Ivan, I mean, you're a simple man. They feel like they can probably persuade you to leave if it's the natural thing to do, natural course of things. What are you ending up with, Jebediah?
15.
Okay, yeah. So you're more someone they would to contend with. Maybe they feel like they can convince you to leave. So let me just pause there for a second. Killian, how did you do, actually?
18.
Oh, even
Ooh,
better.
nice.
So Scab and Pierce.
I got a 6 on my
You've come
test.
around back.
Yeah.
There's no lights. There's no guard set back here. What is it that you want to do?
I'm kind of going off what the showman gave us, that looking around their camp could reveal something worthwhile. Looking for things they may be hiding. The boons that we got from the other two was a card and a shoe horse. Looking around, just seeing if my sixth sense pings off anything.
No, you're not feeling anything of power back this way. But I'll tell you what, make me a luck check. Probably scab as well.
Sure.
Okay. We should be looking for like moons and clovers. Oh man, there was a cereal.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. There's rainbows. I do pass my luck test.
Sure, Pierce, you do. Scab, you want to run me a luck check as well?
Pass as well.
No.
Oh, and I did
There we go.
misread it. I don't feel like my body is a shell. People who meet me feel like their body is a shell.
Oh, I've
Interesting.
been feeling like that for a while now.
Okay, you guys both passed. You're not detecting anything odd at all, nothing magical. I mean, this looks like just a shanty town.
Mm-hmm.
But both of you, as you're kind of, other than having to go through every building and every house to see if you can find something, you're really not feeling it. But you notice that out front of one tent, and this item is kind of out of place with everything else you're seeing here. There's a book just laying out on a stump. Old, leather bound, looks like it's half falling apart.
I
It
definitely.
looks like one of yours.
It does. Keep an eye on me, and if I start acting strange, I will need you to hit me over the head to knock me out. I know that's a lot to ask, but you're strong enough and brave enough to do it.
You sure?
It's just in case that book is evil and it tries to take over my body.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Yes. Once I'm unconscious, give me some of the black milk that we got from the showman.
Okay. Okay, because that'll turn you good again.
That is correct. That is what he told us.
Got it. Okay. Black milk is good. I understand.
Yes.
Oh no.
I will
Fetch
go
milk.
and
Go
grab
get
this
it.
book.
It doesn't trigger your senses at all. It seems just like it's a book. You pick it up, you flip through it. It's a history. It's not. Do you speak Spanish?
I have no idea. I don't think I
Let's
ever.
say no, as it hasn't come up. But
Yeah.
there's margin notes,
Okay.
like modern in English. As best you can tell, it's a history. And they're reading through quickly, going through. The last few pages have a lot of marginalia in it. But what you're able to figure is like this book is the history of the Fist of Ling, of what it's being called the Fist of Ling. It is definitely in Bannock. It's guarded by the ghost of a great Mayan priest, or Mayan priest, is what you're kind of reading in the marginalia here. It's on the west side of town. And there's some like just descriptive text, like somebody was writing down almost like what they saw in a dream, little bits and pieces here, like they'd wake up and they'd write down what they saw or remembered in a dream. And that seems to be the focus of what's coming down as a big showdown in Bannock. So you got a couple of things from this. The fist is definitely here,
Yeah.
guarded by a Mayan spirit, and it's somewhere on the west side of town.
Okay. With that information, I'll commit it to memory.
Mhm.
And I will leave the book not to raise any suspicions.
So meanwhile, back in town, in the camp, those of you that rolled better on your personality scores, one of the men will stand up. He's got a couple of plates of beans and cornbread, and he'll hand everybody a plate. He says, "Look, we can be very civil about this. We aren't going to influence anything ourselves either. Why don't you all just leave town and let what's going to happen
Oh, but you don't understand. What's going to happen is going to happen. We're part of that happening, you see.
But if you just leave."
While Killian's talking,
Yeah.
Ivan will finish his plate of beans and the last of his cornbread. He'll reach over without saying anything and swap Killian his empty plate for Killian's full
Okay.
plate and keep eating.
Good goes to dip some cornbread in.
At least
I
you
must
still
have been
the
hungrier than
cornbread.
I thought.
Yeah, Chance might even help himself to some of that too if he gets another plate because I gotta sober up.
Yeah, if you put your plate out, they'll just, it's not exceptionally good food. It's just, it's filling. Hey, listen, the events that are going to happen here tomorrow night, just let it play out. You don't need to be a part of it. What's in it for you?
A lot of work in the future, honestly. All those dead people. I'm what your people call a calavera, you see, and I have to contend with spirits that roam around with unfinished business and oh, by the way, undead riders coming into town. That's something I'd have to deal with anyway. So,
He kind of, I understand, but have you noticed the peculiar lack of spirits around?
I have.
I
Call
found
them
plenty of
undead
spirits.
is not quite right. They are reliving.
That doesn't make it less concerning to me.
What I'm saying is the town is what it is. It has always been what it is. It will always be what it is. There will be no extra spirits needing help along the way. The town will take care of itself. Or not. And it will simply cease to be.
I will take your words under consideration.
Meanwhile, Chance is concerned about fighting a different kind of spirit.
That coffin farts.
Well, let us say that we are at an impasse at the moment. As we are here to observe, our hands are not tied like some others. We will keep others from interfering when the time comes. Unfortunately, if that is you, I'm afraid we will have to kill you. It would be so much better if you would just simply choose to leave or not take a hand in things.
How big is this guy?
Just average size.
So I'm quite a bit bigger than him.
Yeah.
Okay, at that moment, I finished the second plate of beans. I look over to Killian. I kind of shove my empty plate on top of his other empty plate. I finish swallowing. Yeah. Crack my neck for a second, reach down, and just lift the guy off the ground. And I just kind of lean in, and I just want to say, thank you very much for the beans. I could use a bit more salt, though. And please don't get in my way. And I put him down, and I turn around and I leave. That's it. I'm not going to confront anybody. I'm just literally saying my piece and leaving.
Okay. Yeah, he doesn't respond back, but he's not shaken by it either. So as you leave, he looks at both Killian and Jebediah and says, I'm afraid it must be. The Brotherhood, we will stop anyone trying to interfere with fate as it's meant to be. If that's you.
No, they're down the street.
Oh, we're
I
quite
feel,
aware that those powers are here. But as you've noticed, they're not taking a hand in things. They're here to observe.
I feel like any way it plays out would be meant to be, would it not?
Yes.
How would a thing not meant to be?
I'm simply being neighborly and just telling you how it is. If you leave now, people won't shoot at you or try to kill you. If you stay and try to influence events, well, then we must influence events. I would much rather stay here, eat my beans, and watch.
I mean, I like beans too, but isn't that also fate? I think is what he's trying to say.
Yeah. I understand your position. Just laying it out for you. If you interfere, we must interfere. If you don't, there's no need for us to interfere.
All right.
How about this? How about you just stay in our camp, enjoy our meal, and we'll all sit back and watch? Yes? Then neither of us will influence the ending of this.
I think we all have our own personal definitions in play of all of these terms. But I've already got my fill, so I'll be on my way.
Yep, and he'll raise his hand to you and says, well, go in peace. Fortunately, if things come to it.
I might take another plate of beans and rip a good one on the way out.
He'll shovel some more beans on your. About this time, we'll say that Pierce and Scab come back around.
Is anyone else eating the food?
Ivan was.
Oh,
No.
in the camp, everybody in their camp is eating. As far as your side go, don't know. I don't think Killian was eating. He at least got some cornbread in his mouth. I think Scab and Pierce are the only two that didn't eat. Jebediah may not have.
Yeah, I didn't.
Okay.
But
Yeah, other than the
did we see
normal
them
stomach
eating?
distress that comes from eating beans, you're fine.
Yeah. I apologize for our impending future.
Once we're clear of camp, I'll definitely share my information.
Thank you all for being so nice. That was real neighborly of you.
They wave.
They seem like real good people.
So yeah, the
It
Guardian.
seemed like real.
They're going to try to kill us tomorrow, Scab.
Yeah.
Should we just try and kill them tonight?
No.
I'm still hungry.
They just fed us. You can't. No.
We gotta give them at least 15 minutes before we turn around and shoot them.
I mean, I understand, Scab. I do. But as the others are saying while we were away, if we try and stop the bad thing from happening, they're going to try and kill us.
Well, the wheels are turning real slow, but they hadn't done wrong they done good to us. Now, they hadn't done bad yet. So if we do bad to them before they do bad to us, that
makes us the bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, my head hurts. That's too much.
That's fine. You've won me over. You're correct.
All right, where to? It's still early in the night. It's dark, but it's early in the night.
I would say we go poke around the west side of town.
Who can I talk to the coffin boy?
If he's still out.
Well,
we can
west
talk
side
to
of
him.
town. I mean, you've got the Hotel Mead,
My
which is
water.
number 7. Number 5 is the assay office. These all have lights on the building still. On the other side there, 8 is the Goodrich Hotel that you were told a little bit about. The church is number 15. 16 is the Farriers. And, lights are on in all of these houses along here. So that's the west side of town.
Ivan's going to make his way to the church.
Okay.
He doesn't know much, but he knows something is stirring and everybody seems to be worried about tomorrow night. And everything that he's seen and everything that he's heard and everything he's lived through so far and all the weird goings on, he's not exactly sure how to pray or who to pray to. He just knows God is good and that's the righteous path, and he's supposed to follow the righteous path. So he's going to go there looking for some help.
The lights are on. You see that there are a few people sitting on pews praying. It's a very humble wooden church, very modest in decoration. But it's neat and clean. The walls are brightly whitewashed. It's got a sense of comforting that's kind of coming off of it.
He'll find a quiet spot there in a pew and kind of look around and do as the others are doing. If anybody's kneeling and praying, he'll kneel and pray as well. And he's just going to kind of sit there in quiet contemplation, asking for, just God in general to tell him what he's supposed to do, or maybe looking for some words of wisdom to fall back on from his old mentor who's now gone and passed.
Okay. So as you're doing this, you walk in where some of the parishioners are praying, but some of them are talking to who must be the reverend of the area. And in a hushed voice, you kind of overhear him talking about his recent visitation, as he has seen an archangel just outside of town as he was coming back this morning.
Hmm.
Yeah. That's, kind of what's going on. So you want to listen in or?
Yeah, I'll kind of listen into that conversation.
Okay, so he's saying, "Look, I swear to you, the story I'm going to tell you is true. I wasn't always this God-loving man you see before you. I understand the dangers of sin, for I'm a man and I have sinned. I left New York for Bannock in hopes of becoming rich, and my greed dragged me across the desert. Remember, Bannock used to be a big gold area. Um, and he just basically talks about how he met an angel, who, as he was lying dying after having an unsuccessful journey and trying to find gold, that just lifted him up, put him across his horse, and brought him back to Bannock, nursed him to health. And he said, but then I blacked out at the Undertaker's. I was probably dead on the slab, and they were trying to measure me out for a coffin. Um, Undertaker's also the closest thing we got to a doctor at the time. So you're coming in on this, and he's just basically telling his tale of how he became a preacher, having seen an angel out there when he was prospecting.
Okay. I'll kind of approach him and tell him, I kind of overheard him talking, and that I'm not a wise person, but I'm looking for any sort of guidance I can find to do what's right, to do what needs to be done. And, just tell him that, look, I was raised by a man who I thought was good, but he is gone and has been for some time. And I'm just kind of, Ivan is looking for guidance. He's just looking to do the right thing, and he's not even really sure what that is anymore because he's surrounded by such strangeness.
Mm-hmm. You come in at the tail end of his story. We were saying that the angel told him that his name was Michael, and he vaguely remembers asking the angel why he was there, and he said that he was on an errand. I knew that errand was there to find me, to save me. And as you're walking in, he's like, "Oh, go ahead and roll your fame stat there," because as we all know, good church-going people love the wrestling. They just do.
It's fact.
$33.
Okay. And what do you need? What is your threshold?
It's currently at 55.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, they recognize you a little bit, although they think that you're perhaps Ivan's younger brother. It's like, oh, but you carry the same mask.
Yes, it is I.
Come in. Yeah. And they bring you in and ask if you have a place to stay. You're welcome to stay in the church if not, etc. What are the rest of you doing? Ivan's just gone off to the church. What is everyone else doing?
I would definitely be not going into the church.
Probably not. Actually, Pierce, yeah, you don't feel anything particularly.
It's not like super sanctified like the
Yeah,
other place.
not really sanctified. I mean, it's a nice looking church, but you don't feel particularly like it's sanctified or that it's holy ground. Which is not unusual. Not every church is.
Yeah.
Takes a lot of belief to make a church that way.
Number 8 was the hostel. Is that what you said?
Number 8 is the hotel. Yeah, the Goodrich Hotel.
Okay.
Or what used to be. Yep.
Well, since it's right next to the church, checking that out might be worthwhile.
That's what I'm thinking. Well, while he's praying, why don't we go and see what we can find?
I'll go wherever people drag me.
Oh, we're dragging you this way.
Okay.
All right. So who's going into the hotel?
Everyone but Ivan, I think.
Everyone but Ivan. Okay, well, you guys go to check in. The person at the desk, his name's Martin. He'd be glad to take you up to your rooms. Very Spartan. Yeah, they've not been doing a lot of business lately, but sure, they'll at least let out a room for you. We'll get the fireplace going so it's warm in there. The place is cleanish. Doesn't look bad at all.
Do
And
they
he
have
seems
that board on the back that has all the key rings on them?
Yeah, they do. They have that. And as you come forward, Killian, you guys see him visibly. He's got this big smiling face for everyone until Killian steps forward. Then you see his face kind of freeze and you see his nose wrinkle a little bit like he smelt something bad. It's like, oh, are you with them?
Sorry, that was probably me. I've eaten a lot of beans tonight.
You will have to excuse my French answer. It's not me this time. No.
Ah, so you're with them.
Yes.
I see. He thinks about it for a minute.
There a problem with our friend being along with us?
Well, no, I mean, being a proprietor and all, you know what they say about foreigners. I mean, they're all thieves, right?
I mean, that is incredibly narrow-minded.
It's not necessarily untrue. When I first came to this country, I did march with your General Sherman during the Civil War, and there were many thieves that were following around during those days. But I tried to keep my hands clean.
Doesn't that make like all of us thieves? Because technically we're all.
No, that's a good point. In fact, I would bet those fellows from the camp further down the road would have some words to say about that.
Look, all I know is that two foreigners came through here a few weeks ago. They only wanted one room for the two of them, claimed that one of them didn't sleep. Can you imagine? He
they might not sleep.
Menacingly, Jake, or Killian. Needless to say, they couldn't afford to stay for 2 nights. That sort never has money anyhow. Kind of looks daggers at you, Killian.
Well,
Would
it matter if I was a
pagan
thief?
shrine up by the gallows?
What?
And he kind of
Pagans?
sneers at you. Are you a pagan?
No, my good friend, I am French. I'm as Christian as they come. Who builds pagan shrines?
To Jebediah to like take a handful of cash and put it in Killian's pocket so it looks like he's rich.
Unfortunately, the problem is Killian already has a handful of cash in his pocket.
So you just have cash falling out of your pockets. Yeah, he's like, I suppose if your friends are vouching for you, I'll let you those rooms.
He's got more money than I do, I think.
If it makes you feel better, I don't sleep much either, but I've done lots of time as a busboy if you need some work done around here.
Oh, we don't get all that many people here anymore. I'm letting you stay here just because you look like you need a little place to stay, and I know that other place is just a rat-filled. Nah, I couldn't do that to you.
We've heard that.
He
other
looks
place
at
has
Killian
nice-
again. But you don't go be building any pagan structures around my premises. You understand?
Of course, sir. I would not dream of it.
Are you like one of those other folks, like all those other folks that got a thing going on?
What are you talking about? Hey, you look a little funny too.
Sure.
He had some of the coffin varnish up at the Skinner's.
Oh, well, that'll explain it. That'll explain it.
I don't know much about pagans, but I think there's a big pagan holiday tomorrow.
That was actually the last thing I had. I had other things first.
Jebediah, you say that. It's like, oh, is that what it is? They building something for her? Well, they've already left, and they left her. I don't know what it is. Altar? You want to call it that? They left it there. Were they on a pilgrimage or something? Is that what this is?
I hope not.
I think that's why we're getting a few people showing up here.
Well, we don't get too many visitors here in Bannock anymore. Not since the gold ran dry.
Are you allowed to interfere?
Well, I mean, you mess up my house, I'll interfere, all right. And he takes a shotgun from underneath the counter and lays it on the counter.
Oh, we're talking about tomorrow when the bad didders will do the do.
Son, look, I don't know what religion you prescribe to, but it ain't no holiday of mine tomorrow. Oh, yeah, okay. He's still drunk. I get you. Okay. Look, do you want the room or not? $1 a head. I'll get the missus to cook you up some vittles in the morning.
Is that structure still here, or have you dismantled it
He
already?
said it was still there, yeah.
You passed by today. It was still there. Some odd looking thing. You say they got some kind of holiday tomorrow. Is that it? You know, am I
That's
going
what
to
I've
be
been
expecting
hearing.
more to come through here?
Probably. Maybe
Yeah,
half dozen or so.
Keep that shotgun handy, sir.
Oh, I will. Just looks daggers at you.
Oh, not for us though.
All right, more foreigners coming in. I got you. Well, they can go stay at that other hotel. You points at Killian. I'll let you slide.
I appreciate it. I don't like lice.
All right. Well, we didn't accomplish a lot tonight, but
Yeah, we got a lot of info.
good enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got some good info.
Got
some
to
good
hang out in a
info.
really cool town.
We had a lot of dialogue, which was enjoyable.
Oh yeah, and there's more to be had. There's a lot of people in this town. Yeah, going by the map, there's at least 14, 15 folks to
We're
talk
going to
to.
be so busy next time.
Oh my gosh, we're too.
Well, you did
talkative.
learn a few things going on. I mean, that there are some people here that know what's going down and are here to observe. Some just town folk that have no idea what's going on, like this foreigner hating businessman.
Absolutely. He sees the cravat and goes into a rage.
Exactly. I mean, wouldn't you? Come on. Who's ever heard of France before?
Right?
Fictitious.
Not real.
It's
Not
a
real.
fake place.
Absolutely. Yeah, referential to other games, guys. That's what that is. Anyway, we have played Weird Frontiers tonight. Slow moving. This is definitely an investigative sort of scenario. But hey, they're making some headway through this. Chuck, what's going on?
Yeah, so you can usually find me over on Defenders of Cobalt. Pretty much all of us over there. Twitch.tv/Defenders of Cobalt. Every Wednesday, we've got an Alien campaign. Every Friday night, we're currently running some America. And yeah, that's what we've got.
Yeah, good stuff. Jeremy, I think you've got a Patreon sort of thing going on.
Yeah, Aaron Reese on Patreon. We've got some comics on there, some maps, tokens, other fun assets. Check it out.
Jake, you got anything?
No.
Okay, good enough. My own channel, Steam Stealer Murder. We don't have anything else going on the rest of this week, but tune in next Tuesday for some second edition Dungeons and Dragons and some BX Dungeons and Dragons on Friday. Next Saturday, we've got Cyberpunk Red. So some classics, some new. Check that out there. Well, this Sunday, Chuck, is this a off stream or an on stream thing
It's going to be
you're
off
doing?
stream.
Off stream. Okay, so you didn't hear that. We're doing nothing.
Doing nothing.
Nothing.
Everybody.
All right. We good to go?
Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye. Goodbye now. Goodbye.
Goodbye,
Goodbye.
everybody.
Goodbye. Goodbye now. Goodbye.